Welcome back, Five Aces.
Battle control initialized.
Hey people, Five Aces here. So, it's become kind of a running gag, right? Every single time I'm promising that there is gonna be more content and less of a content drought in the future, life throws a curveball my way. Well, this time, life didn't throw a curveball my way, but a beautiful, gorgeous baby. So I'm now a 3-time dad. My family planning has now concluded, officially, and we're gonna celebrate with a celebratory snip at the end of the month. Just saying, Kappa Pride. But with that out of the way, that's the reason for why this channel has been unusually dormant, even more so than in the recent past. Yeah, so much for the good news. Now for the more OpenRA related, more interesting stuff that doesn't pertain to my private life. There is, first off, there is a tournament on the way, and it's a 2v2 tournament, the second season. I'm really hyped for that, because the first season, with those crazy team games with Widow and Who Cares especially, has just been absolutely stunning. It was hilarious to watch the players develop new strategies, new metas, like the one player rushing tech meta with the Tesla tank flak ball, the other player expanding to all sides of the map. That was just exciting games to watch, really dynamic overall. But speaking of dynamic, the ladder of OpenRA has also seen a major paradigm shift, as many of the old players have kind of probably become too busy to be OpenRA pros anymore, as is customary. New players have emerged, and one of them has made a mark on the ladder. So now the question is it really a new player, or is it just a Smurf name? But we cannot reveal that trade secret just yet, because I honestly have no clue. So if you would fill me in, I would be more than happy. But until further notice, I'm going to assume that this is a new player, tentatively. So anyway, let's start with the not new player first. This is now in white. He is kind of a grayed up a little bit. It is Mr. Blackened, playing as greedy as ever, not even purchasing a single pillbox to get ready. And he is probably going to be power sniped by the overwhelming forces of FazzerX. And FazzerX, man, this guy has definitely left an impact on the ladder thus far. Yep, there is the power snipe. That's also going to be a couple juicy rocket soldiers. Nice scatter command here. Oh, hosing down the rifleman. Oh, and that's low power already. This is already really crippling. Oh, next power plant is coming up in just a hot second. He's trying to move out of the way of the pillbox, but he's right within the kill zone. This is not going to force out a second pillbox from Blackened. He's now going to be safe, but it definitely put some pressure onto him. Okay, Blackened's Ranger tanking all the shots and achieving an easy clean sweep. But that was certainly not the start that Blackened had wanted. He is slightly ahead now, I guess, but his army has been decimated. And on the back end of this, there is just another army waiting. Lots of infantry from FazzerX, who has now gotten and found the time to just play a standard build, really. Lots of pressure with 20 rifles. Try to get a snipe early onto the engineer, which he did not get, but still. Ooh, he's gonna go for a backline capture. By the way, the color scheme of Blackened is so deceptive. Double Ranger for Blackened. I like this strategy switch up. Basically omits the light tank. The Ranger is a little bit more mobile, just provides more just more anti-infantry firepower, and gives you a great line of sight, great map control. Really dynamic game here, okay? This is an attempt at a steal for a steal. There is FazzerX claiming the Derek's back, and a nice snipe from FazzerX. Being completely aware of what's going on, also building one medium tank, so this entire army has been warded off. Feels like the second Ranger investment did not pay off yet. And the MCV timing should now definitely be in favor of FazzerX. I really like this shift in the early game meta that has been brought about. Alright, Blackened losing a second Derek, so that's now 3 Dereks over 1. Pretty good color scheme. Yeah, this is a camouflage themed color scheme for Blackened. White, and definitely white suits him. Looks like he's visiting a bridal shower, but that's fine. Oh, the Ranger got nerfed, by the way. I think less line of sight, less mobility, and it still is a good unit after all these nerfs. think about all these times this unit got a nerf. The amount of times I've gotten this unit up to Veterancy 4 just past the early game, only to lose it somewhere in the mid game around minute 10 was crazy. Just building a single ranger basically means so much map control and opportunities to pick off stragglers. Blackened's engineer thinking twice here. Oh, and that's a perfect snipe. Again, Blackened not ready. Blackened was not ready at all. He's sending in the harvester to tank, but this harvester is gonna go down in a heartbeat. That was probably not the best of calls here. Nice repositioning on the tank. The army gets now cleaned up, but that is a harvester down. And yet again, it looks like that is a pretty strong start for FazzerX. Who is this man? Let's see. I haven't actually checked. No, yeah. Unless he has registered a second forum account, we are gonna have to assume that this is a new player, which is great. Medium tank production is fired up for both. Blackened is now forced into going for more refineries. He just lost his original ore refinery and hasn't really expanded just yet. His economy is actually in the gutter. Yeah, not looking too hot. Here is the ring around the rosy with the derricks. Blackened at least getting the 2 derricks back here. Oh, I forgot to mute the chat. That is something we should definitely do. Junano, Lucky Luke, Blaues Wunder. Muttilein. Oh, is that Merkel? Because for those who are unaware of the German-speaking world, Mutti, that used to be just the nickname of Angela Merkel, the mommy of the nation, for over what, 18 years or something? Something crazy anyway. That's a very German-based spectator lounge here. Yikes, that's the entire Western Front. Prince P as well, whom we've observed in one of the past games. Anyway, back to the game. Death Ball out here for Blackened, and this could hit a nasty time because FazzerX isn't really out anywhere on the map right now. He appears to have the inferior army, just a courtesy of a lower tank count. Did he lose so much? What about his economy? Well, the assets are fairly even, so for the most part. So one thing I'm not seeing FazzerX do is spam base defenses. Feels like he's very light on the base defenses here, but really good reaction time. Just pulls back the MCV almost immediately. Harvester gets sacked, but that was fine. Did its job. But the Ranger does not have an engineer inside. No chance to recapture here. Here comes the backstab. There is... Oh, the MCV build radius is actually kind of inconvenient. So unless he expands... Oh, the MCV is moving right now. That could hit a really nasty timing. It feels like he's losing everything in the main base, but there's the backstab. This is a huge army. This is the big cheese, as a certain Leon S. Kennedy would put it. Alrighty. That is a really good catch. Thing is, this army has kind of dried up, has kind of been dwindling. Oh, Blackened probably losing his MCV here. Oh, no way. No way. This MCV is staying alive. Really? Are you kidding me? Literally, I think one rifle salvo would have killed that. And here's the engineer as well. Just to add insult to injury. Oh, what a timing mistake. Nice defense here from Blackened. Yeah, a bit lucky that he didn't immediately lose the MCV. Retaining it was crucial here. FazzerX is defeated in game number 1, but that was an insane opener. Because, did I mention this? No, I did not. This is the first game in a best of 8, an incidental best of 8. Because those two have been meeting on the ladder quite a bit. And spoiler alert, it wasn't as one-sided as you would assume. Alright, let's meet up again in game number 2. See you in a hot second.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
Alrighty, game number 2. We are on the map Endless Night. I was about to say Eternal Night, but no. Ooh, new asset. That is a custom-made church. As well as this building. I think this building wasn't part of the originals. Stands out a little bit. Sticking out. Not like a sore thumb. It mashes quite nicely, but it shows that it's not an original asset. Unlike these Little farming villages. Looks a bit too urban-y in comparison. Oh, and this one as well. By the way, some people have been asking why no remaster assets for Red Alert. Simple answer, because Red Alert uses custom tiles, unlike Tiberian Dawn. And especially it uses custom units for the regular base game. The flag truck is a custom asset, and this poses a big problem for the developers because its removal would upset the balance completely. So you can't really just omit it. But at the same rate, there is no easy solution for porting it over into an HD version because there is no HD asset for it, because that is not a unit made by EA. The EA have just laid off 15% of their staff after basically posting record profits, so unlikely that they're gonna have the manpower to spare. Let's just put it that way. Alright, so there's again a nice little backstab attempt from Blackened. Trying to find an engineer. Doggo is out. Ooh, the doggo has actually been sped up. So that's a little trick you can do. The dogs do run faster if they have a target acquired. And if you assign them their own units, basically you can speed them up. Give them a little speed boost. You just need to remember to deactivate it in time. Ooh, units here trickling in just a little too much. Single file formation. That is a dead engineer. Or is it? Oh, last shot. Perfect execution. Blackened not being aware enough. Oh, capture from the oil derrick just reveals Fazzer's dog here. One single rifle being left behind. Trying to sniff out the engineer. What path is he taking? No. He's just booking it. Lives to tell the tale, but is going to come home to a very empty base. He can talk to the harvester drivers for all that matters. Really awkward build here. Blackened has lost most of his early infantry, and as a result, he is building rocket soldiers, but doesn't have a rifle corps. So this could hit a nasty timing, but we know better, and from the caster's perspective. Oh, factions, by the way. FazzerX has gone for Germany. I'm really struggling to... Who has this sort of playstyle? I really feel there was lots of attention to detail in the early game. Also the attempted engineer snipes. This person knows what they're doing. And hard to tell whether they're a newcomer or not. So again, I can just make assumptions here. Baseless claims. Okay, APC's out with 4 rifles, I guess. Maybe it would be Grenadiers. Maybe Grenadiers is a viable choice here. Didn't actually pay attention. It is Ukraine, so it fits the theme of blowing things up. Okay. Alright, let's fix the camera a little bit. I also... What about the lighting? No, that's a bit too bright. Burns my eyes. Yeah, so we've been really lucky thus far. The baby is asleep for the most part, and that's kind of a surprise because the others did not sleep at all. Be it day or night. They slept an average of maybe 5-6 hours a day, which is half of what scientists would recommend that your baby sleep on an average day. That was not what was happening, but yeah, here we are. Maybe, I don't want to jinx it, but maybe with number 3 we've been blessed. Give it a little break. Oh, 4 rockets. That is such an expensive build. I love that. It's also really viable for sniping out harvesters, but it is super risky. If that thing dies, it goes up in flames, basically blows up an MCV's worth of cash. I didn't want to do that. Fazzer has been really active out on the map, has been positioning his armies, he's got scouts everywhere. He's got a line of scouts actually. Plus, if we take a look at the economy, they're dead on even. Ah, he's gonna have the MCV move out revealed. Seems like he's a friend of the medics as well. We've seen them in game 1. Gonna see them again in game 2. Okay, there is the reveal of the power plant, so he knows which side has been chosen. This is a map where he can go for the left-hand expansion, but it's unlikely because it is farther away. I love this power plant from Blackened. What this does, it provides you both scouting information on flanks and build radius simultaneously. So this is extremely useful. Blackened with the first heavy out. And in come the tanks. What about the engineer? This is an optimistic engineer. If we're being honest, one harvester already being lost. Ore refinery just dying. Second ore refinery as well. This is gonna be nasty. The engineer capping the service depot under direct fire from a rocket soldier. Holy smokes, this guy is going hard. Alright, he has served as a nice distraction. Fazzer with a really nice surgical strike. Takes out 2 harvesters, kicks Blackened down to 5 harvesters and 1 derrick, so his economy is kind of terrible right now. Inflation rates are gonna start rising like it's 2022. Ooh, yeah. Okay, finds another snipe on the second ore refinery. What a play. Fazzer, my man. Just finds the backstabs wherever he needs them. That is just excellent. What a display. Really pulling him apart. Really micro and macro intensive without neglecting the macro. Okay. Blackened went for an expansion attempt. This has been thoroughly thwarted now. There is going to be a dead harvester to boot, so he's going to be kicked down, I think, to 4. Yep. 4 harvesters. It's looking bleak. Oh, he's going to come onto the MCV as well. MCV is probably dead here. Oh, what a find. Gets a little midnight delight in the form of an MCV. And closing the sack with the rest of the troops as well. Oh, what a play. Blackened is being dismantled in game number 2. If he holds this push, then Fazzer is probably going to take game number 2. That should be an easy win. The infantry death ball is still too dense. No way for the heavy tanks to get in on the action. And there's a GG. Triple prong. Is this maybe a happy game? Is this a happy Smurf? But we haven't seen happy in a while. Damn, son. What a series. Don't make me play you seriously. Alright, let's lay on the smack talk. Okay, we're going to be casting game number 3 as well, and then we're probably going to take a break and see you next week. Alright. So, game number 3 it is. Just a hard second.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
And here we are. Game number 3, this map, I recognize Toxicity. The green goop in the middle. Looks pretty cool. The map overlay looks maybe a little... It takes a little time to get adjusted to. Looks like this was how I imagined the Wasteland would look after... There was a Counter-Strike mission, if you remember. I think it was called Sarin Gas. It was a series of missions in the Counter-Strike expansion pack. Or was it Aftermath? It was basically called Sarin Gas 1, 2, and 3, respectively. And it was a Soviet mission where you had to deliver sarin gas to an enemy base, which was all kinds of fucked up. And that's just how I imagined as a kid that the aftermath would look like. Ore mines here, no gem mines. This is a really wide map. Okay, oil derricks in the corners. Looks like this was originally a 4-player map, at least from the layout. But then it would be really binary, because you would have to take claim of this ore mine, otherwise you would just your economy would just wither away. Okay, let's disable the shroud. Let's lift the shroud for a little more suspension. Blackened going for Britain this time around, and Fazzer still sticking with Germany. I would like to see chrono tanks in the hand of this man or woman. Let's see whether they can wield them. So into the late game I hope we're gonna go. Okay, just a little... Man, Blackened's color scheme is throwing me off so hard. It's barely recognizable. This is kind of some sort of beige, but it just looks like that's the default palette. And it's especially, it's doubly nasty, because if you do an attack move, oil derricks are not recognized as enemy structures. They are recognized as neutral even though they're in the possession of the enemy, so they get ignored on attack moves, which can throw you for a loop. He should have scouted that though. He should have seen it at least. Also makes the tree models look really interesting. They stand out more, I guess. Darker contrast makes it appear like they've got more details than they actually do. But that's always the trick with those sprites. Gotta be honest, the sprite work in Command & Conquer is really timeless. Even after those, what, it's been 25 years, I guess. Even after those 25 years, it still holds up because it's just so stylized. I really actually prefer these graphics over the remastered graphics, if we're being honest. Just looks timeless and like there's a layer of abstraction in between the commander and the battlefield. Light tank rush. Oh my lord, bring it on. That is basically 2 refinery, 1 war factory, triple refinery on now, and then just spam mass light tanks. This is an insane build from Blackened. It can work really well if your opponent is not prepared. Let's see if FazzerX is going to be fazzled. Razzle-dazzled. He's got really good scouting information. Oh, they're running straight into the scout. Yeah, this has been revealed. Blackened has shown his hand. And his hand is consisting of nothing but 5 light tanks. That's a pretty shitty hand to be dealt. Let's be honest here. There's already a medium tank out, so I doubt this can do much, really. Sure, it can poke away the harvester. Can he get a kill? He needs to commit super hard. There is a ranger as well, which I like, both for the line of sight, but also the sniping power on single rocket soldiers. I guess you can maneuver around and get the oil derrick as a consolation prize, but that certainly wasn't worth the price of admission. Yeah, Rangers duking it out. Don't be a stranger, said the ranger. Oh, he's going in. He is going in hard. Wait, that's all the rockets down. Holy smokes! How did that even happen? You managed to blast all the rocket soldiers sky high. That was sort of kind of worth it. Ooh, his combat tower is looking good. The thing is, he is still behind. Yep. I mean, he's ahead in assets, but earned graph is gonna point firmly towards FazzerX in just a second. Still though, this is a great and hilarious build, and I really adore the fact that he's been going for this wacky stuff. Service depot timing has also been a lot better here for Fazzer, who has just been playing standard. So his MCV is out now. Oh wait, there is... yeah, Blackened moved out his original MCV. That just is the only explanation for that. That just about makes sense. So he's at least using the light tanks to clear vision. Just delete a couple scouts off the map. And his army is already relatively sizable. He's positioning it in probably the most likely attack vector. So because if Blackened sees that the light tanks are up top clearing scouts, he's probably gonna start going towards the south. So that's just a very game sensey move to do. Light tanks have been patched up again. The only way they can be useful again is if they're catching an MCV in transit. So yeah, not sure about that one. Oh, there's an MCV push. There's not many rockets. I count 4 rockets here. I don't know if that's actually worth it. Okay, Blackened does not want to take the engagement though. He's consolidating his forces. Losing a tank on the way out already. And here is the chase. The chase down for Fazzer. His tanks are still... tanks of... oh, there's only rifles left here on this side. Yikes. Tanks of Blackened are still standing strong for the time being. And Fazzer does achieve a wipe. Took him a while, but he's got a lot of vetted rifles now. Yeah, wow. In come the light tanks yet again. Have yet to find any critical damage, but still. Ooh, they are killing some of the power plants. This is starting to get nasty. Service depot as well. Oh my lord. Okay. If he doesn't deal with this stat. Yeah, he's losing his service depot now. 5 light tanks still alive. 4. Let's make it 4. Yeah, they have killed the service depot, which was very much worth it. And now has probably kicked him into low power. Let's check. Fazzer is going to be struggling for quite a bit. He is chasing after 3 light tanks, little wind-up toys. Just chasing him around the map. Giving him the old loop-de-loop. Triple MCV. Another army on the southern perimeter. I really love how Fazzer is using his vision. He is just constantly sending out scouts. Constantly trying to regain a foothold on the map, even after being cleared out. Oh, it's so smart from him as well. Just leaving some of the infantry behind, because light tanks really can't deal with that. Oh, he's going for a backstab here. But Blackened is being situationally aware. And he's got the vastly superior army this time around. Man, this is quite the series. Double base push. Fazzer, his alarm bells should be going off now. He's floating 11k because he doesn't have the power to keep his production up. That, by the way, is the power of power snipes. If we are to learn anything from today's cast, it is the power of the power snipe. That is not to be underestimated. As soon as you lose power, you basically lose the option to produce adequate amounts of units. I feel like this game is gonna be going towards Blackened. It is looking pretty good for him now. 43k. The assets are not that far apart, and Fazzer's got a massive bank. But how about that army graph? Not that much of a difference either. It's just that Blackened has his forces concentrated. And he's locking down the map, so there's really no option for Fazzer to expand to. That is going to be a big problem. He's again trying for the southern perimeter. Okay, let's go back into all players as well as the production tab. People have requested more of a zoomed in view, so we shall oblige. 2 tanks being sent out as scouts, split off from the rest of the army. Oh, this is a juicy field. Yeah, chunk those ore trucks. Blackened is aware, sending back his harvesters. Ooh, into the meat grinder we go. This is not gonna go in Fazzer's way, I'd wager. Yeah, this is not gonna go Fazzer's way at all. A little too much armor, anti-armor here. Ore truck is gonna go down. Still not worth it. He still hasn't broken this base yet. He is yet to do any meaningful structural damage. Ore truck is... Oh my goodness, the ore truck is out-tanking the army here. Fazzer, with a rare lapse of judgment, could have stayed on the harvester and killed it off. The tanks that have been sent off earlier are still on a mission to try and harass the econ. I've got to say, Fazzer really knows how to apply pressure. It does feel like a happy build here. Oh, is he gonna have the time to commit this time around? One more shot. And yet again, the harvester lives. Story of the game. Not this one though. Blackened definitely losing. Ooh, a helipad transition from Fazzer. And right into raid at... Oh, the raid attack is coming at such a timely manner. It is gonna go down, but there is... Ooh, nasty. That was a miss. But there is an artillery. And there is also... Is there a second helipad? No, there is one, yeah. There we go. Second helipad is going to be big. Because that allows him to maintain production of helicopters even if he loses his raid attack, which he just did. So, where does that leave us? Blackened is now 10k assets ahead. But Fazzer does have the tech to make up for it. Hard to call, but right now I'm giving the edge to Blackened. Simply courtesy of the map state, because he has basically snatched 3 out of 5 expansions. But that doesn't mean that Fazzer doesn't have any gas left in the tank. Fazz is so persistent, yeah, definitely. Spectators just getting nuked from orbit with the ion cannon. Right, no more spec chat. RIP, what a loss. What a shame. What a rotten way to die. Oh, yet another ore refinery snipe. This is really annoying to play against. He's targeting the econ so hard. Yet another ore truck going down. Oh, massive value from the artillery. He's really targeting nicely. Manual targeting coming in clutch here. Gotta hand it to the man. Yeah, it's dead now. Wait, no, it isn't. Because infantry can't chase for shit. They are really good in terms of value per cell, but their downside is obviously the lack of mobility. Can't even chase down a self-propelled howitzer carriage. Oh, there is all the techies leading the charge. Blackened is spelling blood. Yeah, rightfully so. Look at this army discrepancy. It was really a matter of Fazzer not being able to establish his bases. He was just too far behind on the econ at that point. There was no more way of reliably gaining any sources of income. No spots to be claimed. GG, but he has sold his hide dearly. Yeah, the kill count doesn't reflect that, but damn, that was a hard game for Blackened, especially with the constant eco rates. I want to see more of Fazzer's gameplay, and we are gonna do just that next week. We're gonna be casting some more of his games, specifically the continuation of this best of 8 that has thus far resulted in a 2-1 lead for Blackened. We're gonna be back for more. We're just like the Sharks, the Command and Conquer Sharks. Back for blood. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. After, I guess, 7 sleepless nights. 5 aces, out.
Battle control terminated.